Okay, Ryan Garcia was out. Chia was out. Now who was next? Who was the next best guy that I could that I could fight?
Yeah.
And we reached out. Well, they came with Boots Ennis. We said yeah. We said let's do it, but we want to do it at 147.
We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live, Boxing Ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. What on earth is going on? Devin Haney says he agreed to fight Jaron Boots Ennis at 147 pounds. But the reason he's fighting Brian Norman Jr. is because the weight was rejected and they wanted it at a catch weight, so it fell apart. New leaked audio from Devin Haney reveals everything. And in this video, I'm going to reveal everything and let you know what went on. Buckle up. Now, Devin Haney just did a brand new interview and he said some rather shocking things regarding the staging of his fight. We now know he's fighting Brian Norman. There seems to be some disagreements, if you will, from Haney's, and they want VADA testing and they want it when they want. I've already made videos about it. You guys, to know what's going on in boxing, you guys got to subscribe. But now Devin Haney is coming out saying that the first option, actually not the first option. Let's retract that. He says Ryan Garcia was the first option. Ryan lost. Then Teofimo, and that fell apart. Then they started looking at other options. And before it got to Brian Norman, I guess Jaron Boots Ennis was the fight that they tried to make with Turkey and Devin and Boots. And actually, I want you guys to hear it because I like to show receipts. Roll the clip.
Now then it was like, okay, Ryan Garcia was out. Chia was out. Now who was next? Who was the next best guy that I could that I could fight?
Yeah.
And we reached out. Well, they came with Boots Ennis. We said yeah. We said let's do it, but we want to do it at 147. They came back with 152. I'm like, why would I fight at 152? I never even fought at 147. No, we can do it at 147 or not.
Yeah.
So then he moved up or whatever. And then Brian Norman.
You heard it. He says, we reached out, and then he immediately retracted it and said, well, actually, they came with Jaron Boots Ennis, and we agreed to fight him at 147 pounds. But then they came back, so whoever, the powers that be, Team Ennis, and they wanted to fight at 152 pounds. And Devin is like, I ain't even fought at the full 147. Why would I fight at 152, a catch weight? So that's where we're at with it. Bro, let me just say, I got to toot my own horn. I'm the best in the business, and it's not even close. I've been telling you what I've been saying about Ring Riyadh season and Turkey cards. Listen, a lot of them are starting to be overhyped and then not necessarily living up to said expectations. But beyond that, I've noticed with Turkey, it's like the mask is starting to slip. Tim Tszyu, he loses in a rematch with Fundora, and Turkey takes the opportunity to take shots at him, like some personal beef and vendetta. But this is not what you came in the game saying. You said you were here to fix boxing, not make things worse, not have personal beefs and disdain for certain fighters, and just have these overall personal vendettas where it's not even supposed to be about that. It's kind of what Donald Trump does, where he has like personal vendettas with Rosie O'Donnell, and then he's making threats and stuff like that. It's a bad look, in my opinion. Very bad look when you're the organizer, you're the front man, you're the money man. Every show you have, they're taking breaks and like groveling at your feet and saying, oh, Turkey, everything is possible because of Turkey. So you're making yourself like a mantelpiece, like a centerpiece for these events, but then you're also doing like tasteless things, distasteful things, making fun of a guy who laces them up like Tim Tszyu for whatever reason, right? Bad. But I also said the mask is slipping. Now we're getting to like some of the true intentions. You know, it's almost like when you date somebody and early on it's the honeymoon stages, you're vibing with the person, going to the movies, going on picnics, just going on dates, living life and having fun. But then it gets months in and the girl or guy, whoever they're with, they start to see the reveal, the mask starts to slip. You see that person's temper. You see that they're psycho. You see that they're jealous, right? That's where we're at with when it comes to Ring and Riyadh season in Turkey. We're starting to see the evolution, and it's a de-evolution as far as I'm concerned, because it's not stuff that helps the sport. All these like almost like weird circusy type of fights that you're trying so hard to make a spectacle that it will make boxing look foolish. And there's a greater chance of doing that as opposed to just doing what's right. For example, if you have all this money, convince Canelo to fight David Benavidez. Instead, you have Canelo fighting a lightweight who moved up to welterweight. I'm not even counting 154 like that. Terrence Crawford only has one fight there. So why is Canelo consistently fighting smaller guys? Shane Mosley, Jose Cito Lopez, Jermell Charlo, Amir Khan, now Crawford. But now you also have David Benavidez, and he's going to be fighting on your card later in the year, right? But he's fighting Anthony Yard. So surely if you have all this money and you can lure David Benavidez and make it nice for him so he'll be on your card, and you lured Canelo into a 4-fight deal, why not give the fight fans the immediate fight that they want? Canelo Benavidez. You're not doing it, you can't do it, or whatever. And that's the problem here. They've already outlined, oh, Canelo, if he gets past Crawford, he might fight Hamza Shiraz. Who's asking for these fights, right? So that's one issue. Then you have Canelo fighting pretty much a welterweight, right? Now you're trying to make Devin Haney fight, and I don't know if it's Turkey or Boots, but at 152, and he hasn't even fought at 47. Now he's fighting his first fight at the full 147. From what I see, a super dangerous fight against Brian Norman. It's a great fight, but again, you're gonna burn. You guys, I cannot wait, bro. I cannot wait. For those expecting Boxing Ego to fail and what I say not to come true, I cannot wait. It is going to be, because I'm definitely rubbing it in your face. The way Turkey and his team are doing this matchmaking, this is not sustainable. You are going to burn through all of your people. Like you allegedly call it making the best versus the best, but then there has to be some like give. It can't just be tough fight after tough fight after tough fight, and you don't even have control of every single fighter. You will burn through the fight. I mean, just look at it. Deontay Wilder fought 2 times on Riyadh season, and he got beat and knocked out in one of them. Then his next fight was on BOK Prime. So Turkey didn't even bring him back for a third fight. He's fighting on BBL Prime, right? Joshua got knocked out viciously, right? The guy who knocked him out viciously just got knocked out viciously. Daniel Dubois, after pulling out of the Joseph Parker fight. Martin Bacoli, he put the boxing world on notice, heavyweights on notice, in his fight with Jared Anderson. You got Jared Anderson cooked. Then Bacoli put the world on notice. You bring him in the same day and he don't have a full camp. He's 315 pounds. He get cooked by Joseph Parker. So I don't know. It's just not going to work. I'm here to tell you, bro. It's not going to work how they're matching the fighters. Like, you want Devin to fight Boots? That would be super dangerous at 152. Yeah, it's big names or bigger names or whatever you want to call it, but that would be super dangerous for him to do. And Brian Norman is no pushover either. That is a super hard fight. But finally, the other thing that's weird is Boots, he was with Espinoza and he was like pretty much an urban legend. Everybody was checking for him and looking for his fight, right? And now you have Jaron Ennis. It's like, what is going on with him? Who is pulling the strings and making the decisions? Opportunity opened up to fight at 54 after you said in your previous fight that you were going to have to move up to 54. Then you had an opportunity to fight Virgil Ortiz. You didn't take it, right? You said, I'm staying at 47 to unify and become undisputed. So some people said he ducked. Then he does fight a unification with Stanionis. Looked very good. Beat Stanionis by stoppage. And okay, maybe he's going to try to fight Brian Norman and do what he said, which is become undisputed, right? Wait for Pacquiao Barrios. Nope. The day before Brian Norman's fight, Boots Ennis said, yo, I'm moving up in weight. Huh? Why didn't you just wait one day? Because Brian Norman had a sensational knockout in Japan. And if you would have waited a day, you can kind of weigh that option, right? Then Teofimo says that Boots was offered to fight and he turned it down because he didn't want that 47. Now Devin Haney is saying the same thing. Boots was offered a fight at 147. He said he was down to fight Boots, which would be a big fight. You've been fighting at 47 this whole time. Now you're talking about the doctor said I'm not optimized. You know, sometimes you got to take these opportunities. So T.O. is saying what Devin said about Boots, right? And then to add Virgil Ortiz, he's coming off an injury, but he said the Boots fight was on the table again to fight later this year after his surgery, you know, heal time. And Boots does not want to go straight into a Virgil Ortiz fight. He prefers to do a tune-up. And Turkey even talked about it on TBV. He was like, let Eddie and Boots do a tune-up fight. It does not involve me. And then basically when you're ready, then you come holla at me. But I'm not a charity. That's what Turkey said. I'm not a charity. And, you know, you do that tune-up on your own. I don't have nothing to do with me. I want whatever fights I want, right? So the point I'm making is what gives, like what is the angle of Boots where you have big names you could fight like Devin Haney and Teofimo, and per them, they're saying that you turned down the fight at 147. So again, mind you, you've been fighting at 147 this whole time. Now all of a sudden you can't make it anymore. And then it just looks so bad because for the Stanionis buildup, I was like, man, I've been saying for a while, Boots is too big for welterweight, right? And before the Stanionis fight, I made the video saying that he's just looking more and more drained before his fights. And Boots made it a point to respond subliminally to me, I believe. And he was like, oh, a lot of these YouTubers, he said his post-fight after he beat Stanionis, a lot of these YouTubers do not know what they're talking about. They said I was weight drained, this and that. You guys be listening to anything and they don't know what they're talking about. They said I was drained. I was at weight on Tuesday, right? This is his own words. So you tried to beat the weight bully, can't make welterweight comfortably allegations, right? Which is clear as like to see that you struggle to make weight, but you still tried to like beat the allegations. But then now TOs and Devin, these fights are opening up for you at 147. Now you're saying you have to go to 54. It looks bad. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that.